In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you the forklift. This trick was invented by Michael Karras for one of his Karras Quickie segments. And it's one of my favorite tricks. It's a lot of fun to do. People enjoy watching it. If you're not a juggler, you can really follow that fork motion, see where the balls are going. The only problem with this trick is it's not a very good one to do with these balls. They're not very good for forking. That's why I have to wear these gloves. So bear with me if I drop my claws. It's a little hard to put the gloves on. The actual trick itself. The balls in this trick cycle, so there's no top ball or right ball or anything like that. But for the purposes of learning just one iteration of the trick, I'll turn off the ball that's not in a pair when you start out. It's this one. You're going to have 2 balls in your right hand, 1 ball in your left hand. To start out the pattern, you're going to throw from your left hand a single ball across to your right side. You're going to cross your arms for a moment and throw these 2 balls up at the same time from your right hand. Then you'll uncross and catch this ball with your right hand. So, that's pretty easy. That should land you with these 2 up in the air and a ball in your right hand. Now what you're going to want to do is the fork portion. You're going to bring your left hand underneath the outside ball and lift it up, like so. And your right hand is going to bring up that extra ball and throw it up underneath it so they go up at the same time. It should look something like this. Now if you freeze the pattern here, you'll see all 3 balls are in a line vertically. What happens is the left hand is forking the ball that your right hand originally threw. This ball is the first ball that started out in your left hand. It just circled around, you threw it up underneath. And your right hand just caught the inside ball. It fell down into this hand. So now what you're going to do is you're going to sweep down with your right hand and catch this ball in a claw position, coming this way. You're going to let this ball fall into this hand, and this ball is going to go up on the outside. Okay? Okay, so right now, that ball was just thrown by your right hand, and your left hand has just finished a claw. What you're going to want to do is make sure you're holding this ball you just clawed in your index, middle, and thumb fingers. The first 3 fingers. This should leave your pinky and your ring finger loose so you can come around, you're going to unwind your right hand too, and grab this ball as it falls, just as you would in, for example, the Georgian shuffle. That'll give you room to start out back where you started. You're going to have 2 in this hand and 1 in this hand and be back in the reverse of the starting position to do it the other way. So it's going to look something like this. And as you can see, that repeats back the other direction. This ball should have been thrown before I crossed, but you get the idea. Again, it's really important to make sure that when you do that fork, you raise both of them at the same time to make sure you keep that illusion intact. It's almost like a yo-yo, except you're forking the top one. You want to make it look like they're somehow stuck to each other, you know? One interesting variation I've developed on it is, as you do the fork on the outside ball, you can catch the inside ball in a penguin. So let me see if I can do that for you real quick. Alright, now that might look a little more awkward than it should because, again, claws are hard enough to do with gloves on. Penguins are pretty much out of the question, but if you have hacky sacks that are a bit softer and easier to fork, penguin, claw, whatever you want to do, that should look a lot nicer. I think it looks really interesting because you're doing a fork at the same time as you do a penguin, and at that exact moment, all 3 balls should line up vertically. So you might want to try that a bit if you want an interesting variation. And that's the forklift. Good luck.